What's up guys, going to continue with my netbook review. This time around I'm going to be talking about the Asus Eee PC 901, and I'm basically going to talk about how this is an upgrade of the original model, the 701. Now the most obvious difference you're going to see is the larger screen. Instead of the 7-inch screen, you're going to have a 8.9-inch screen, a lot larger, and seriously I can't explain how much of a convenience this is. With the new 8.9-inch screen with 1024 resolution, you're going to notice here, whereas on this 701 I'm going to have to scroll side to side to see the entire web page, you can see the whole web page without having to adjust anything on the 901. So yeah, the speakers, instead of being on the side, are mounted underneath, and I haven't really found that much of a difference in terms of sound quality. It's a little bit louder because the speakers are naturally a little bit larger here on the 701, but it's been quite usable. These have been pretty loud coming out from the bottom of the laptop. So good touch. Other cosmetic differences you'll notice here: the mouse, the touchpad is larger, and there are two distinct keys now. Even though this does have left and right click, it's a little bit more distinct. It's a little bit stiffer on the 901 in my opinion though, to hit a key. I mean, you got to press a little bit harder, but not a whole lot. Still has the 1.3 megapixel webcam, and if you'll notice, all the other peripherals are basically the same. So it has an Ethernet port, USB port, and microphone and headphones on one side, and also same as on the 701, also has an SD card slot, 2 more USB ports, and a monitor lock. One good thing they did is they put the plug on the side here and got rid of the Kensington lock. Actually, wait, let me check here. Oh, they put the Kensington lock on the other side, but the cool thing about this is far enough away from the Ethernet port that I think if I plug this in, it won't get in the way of me using the Ethernet port. On the 701, if you'll notice here, the Kensington lock's a little bit too close to the monitor port, so if you have it plugged in, you can't plug in a monitor, but this is fine. On the side here, you'll notice that the AC power goes here on the side instead of on the back on the 701. On the bottom, let me turn this guy over, you notice there's a back pad, and it still has the warranty sticker. However, it's not going to void your warranty if you remove this base plate to install a new RAM chip. This comes pre-installed with a gigabyte of RAM, although you can put a 2 gigabyte RAM chip. Plus, this has a 1.6 gigahertz Intel Atom processor, which is a big step over the 900 megahertz processor in the 701. So that's cool. As for the battery, this is 6-cell instead of the 4-cell on the 701, and in addition to having a larger battery, the hybrid power, the super hybrid engine, I think that's what they call it, lets it conserve power a lot better. And according to literature, instead of 3.5 hours, which is the official time on this laptop, it's supposed to have 8 hours of battery life. But the reality on this is, with heavy use, I've gotten about 5.5 to 6 hours, which is still more than double on the 701, and seriously, you can actually get an honest good day's use out of this. Now if I turn off the Wi-Fi, you're probably going to get another hour of use out of this, and if you stick to just non-intensive functions like not trying to power a DVD external drive, you're going to get even more use out of this. But with heavy usage, I've gotten at least 5.5 hours, so that's great. I mean, between the screen and the battery life, it was worth that just to get this. For the 901, you're going to find different versions. You're going to find this with either the Linux with Xandros pre-installed, or you can get the Windows XP version. I got XP just because sometimes I had compatibility issues. If you're going to use basic web functions, Xandros and Linux are going to be fine. However, I like to mess around with stuff, and if you want to install anything, it's really hard to find applications that'll work with Linux. Most applications that you're going to find, for example, Windows Media Player, Winamp, or anything like that, if you want to install it, you're going to find mostly Windows versions. So, that's why I got it, was for compatibility reasons. This comes pre-installed with Windows XP. Now you have two choices. If you get it with the XP version, this is going to come out with a 12 gigabyte hard drive. I think if you get the Linux version, you can get the 20 gigabyte hard drive. On the XP version, even though it says it has 12 gigabytes of hard drive space, it's not actually a single drive. A lot of people were surprised and disappointed when they got this. What you'll look at, if you'll look through the system info, is, let me see if I can just go here, click on my computer, hit folders. I don't know if you can see it here. Sorry if it's a little unclear. There's actually two hard drives. There's a C drive and a D drive. Now the C drive is 4 gigabytes and the D drive is 8 gigabytes. The system, like the Windows Intel operating system, is running off the C drive, and that's taking out that 4 gigabyte hard drive. the D drive is just 8 gigabytes of free space. People really don't like that. They thought they were getting a single 12 gigabyte hard drive. That's what I thought I was getting. However, I actually like this system better, and let me tell you why. Anyone who has run Windows has had their computer crash on them and had to reinstall Windows. By having 2 separate hard drives and running it off of one drive, if Windows crashes and I need to reinstall Windows, it won't affect anything. I run the system off the C drive, and then I keep all my documents, my videos, music, whatever on the D drive. So that's great. I'm not going to lose any information in case the system crashes and I have to reinstall Windows. So I mean, if you can, try to get a laptop with 2 hard drives and then run your system off of one and keep all your documents on the other for safety's sake. But that's just my little opinion right there. So yeah, it's a pretty good deal. Really big upgrades in function and just ergonomics. I mean, I find it to be a much better computer. I mean, this has just been great. I mean, I love the fact that I can just see so much more without having to scroll left and right for the screen. I like the fact that I have a larger touchpad. Touchpad, to be honest, is a little bit more responsive on the 701. It's just a little bit easier to use than this one. This isn't quite as responsive. But I don't know if that's an issue with the touchpad itself or just the software. I might just look for a new touchpad driver. But yeah, I've been really happy with my purchase of the 901. I'm probably going to take this on my next trip and use this for traveling and writing. Hopefully I'll use it for actual work instead of just messing around and watching movies and stuff. But yeah, it's a great buy. If you look online, I think you can get it for anywhere from $250 to $300. This is actually a refurbished model, and I got this for about 220 bucks. So just hunt around, look on eBay, look on Amazon, look on Tiger Direct or some other websites, and you might be able to find it. I don't really care about it being refurbished, just because as long as it works, I don't care if it has scuffs on it or anything, as long as it's functional. So yeah, 901, great buy. I highly recommend it. And there is a new model of the EPC called I think it's called the 1000, and that's a lot larger. Instead of a 9-inch screen, it's got a 10-inch screen. So the keyboard's going to be larger, and pretty much it's going to be a step between a netbook and a laptop. It's going to be somewhere in between. The 901, I think, is about as big as you're going to go and still be considered a netbook. I mean, even though if you'll see here, it's a little bit larger than the 701. See, it peeks out a little bit. And if you lay this on top, it's a little bit wider as well. Or actually, about the same, but just a little bit wider and maybe a little bit thicker. It's roughly the same size as the 701. I mean, if I close this, I can still fit this inside of my satchel and do the same thing that I did with the 701, which was just carry it around town with me and then check email at some Wi-Fi hotspot at a cafe. So I mean, the 901 is about as big as you're going to get in terms of a netbook. I mean, once you step up to the 1000 series, you got the 10-inch screen, and like it just starts getting closer to becoming an actual laptop. So yeah, that's my little review of the Asus Eee PC 901. It's a great buy, great value for the money, and I think I'm gonna be using this for some time to come. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day. Oh wait, sorry, one more thing before I leave off. The charger, I think, is important to mention. If you'll notice here, for the 701, the charger was this little brick with a cable, and this came out, and I thought this was pretty slick. I mean, this is the size of a cell phone charger, and it's just really small. The 901, and I don't know how I feel about this, but this is the charger. So instead of one little brick with a wire coming out of it, this looks more closer to what a standard laptop power cable box will look like. So you got one wire coming on the end, which attaches to the laptop itself. See what I can find.